Hi Taurus, this is wishkotheferret. Thanks for hopping into the ferret den. We're keeping things warm here. We're keeping things cozy. Today we have a reading for you for June 5th to June 11th. So as always, drop into your heart space. Let the dust spiritually, physically, and emotionally settle around and within you so that you can determine which messages are for you and which messages are for others. If you notice a few bumps and noises in the background, my ferrets are out to play. So hope you don't mind. But let's get into it. You're my first reading of the day, so I'm going to take the time to meditate and to center myself. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for casting your light of protection around me. Thank you for keeping my energy safe. Thank you for keeping all of our energetic cords safe. Thank you for helping align me with the highest of intentions to uplift and to empower. And thank you to my angel team and my spirit guides for helping connect me with the energy of Taurus, whether they be sun, moon, or rising. Thanks for keeping me grounded. It's a great grounding tool for any of you looking for grounding tools. I like to kind of like, not like stamp. Stamp's not the right word. Knead my feet into the ground. Whatever ground you're at, it doesn't have to be dirt. Sometimes it's wintertime where I'm at. Not wintertime right now, but sometimes I encounter a winter season and I don't want to go out in the dirt because it's snow. So into your carpet or into your wooden floors or into your tile, whatever the case may be, so long as your feet are on the ground. It's very important for connecting to your root chakra. So, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Ha! Okay. I can't make this shit up. So I don't always go into grounding techniques. Sorry, I didn't mean to squeal. I don't always go into grounding techniques, but the main focus for you at this time is grounded. So I've been picking from Divine Abundance for each reading I've been doing. You get one focus card with Tosha Silver's Divine Abundance deck, and then we follow up with tarot. So, grounded. Many of the most evolved beings on earth are regular folks living with joy, dignity, and courage. So what I just said, I guess you can follow that advice. So you don't have to go out and dig your feet into the dirt. As I said, you can just, let me talk about the root chakra then a little bit while I'm dealing out your tarot. So the root chakra is, it's referencing the chakra system. So they're the energy centers in our body. There are 7 main ones. The root chakra is at the base of your spine, okay? And that is typically associated with the color red. Now our root chakra rules, essentially, there are many more chakras, but the 7 main energy bodies represent different aspects or facets of the self. So the root chakra represents your safety, your security, your feeling of being in your physical body, your physical needs, that often rules like survival and many types of things. And oftentimes our fears are manifested through the root chakra. So a lot of times it's like the base. It's the most important part of our physical existence. So oftentimes a lot of people want to focus on the third eye chakra and open it up. But it is so important to get your lower 3 energies aligned before your upper energies with like from the heart and on, because your root is your whole stability. That's your whole foundation. So I always say it's important to keep them all balanced, but root chakra, I always love to start with the root chakra because I just need to get, I need to ground myself in something, getting in a safe space is also something that your guides are saying it's important for you to have a safe space. So something that you deem to, hang on, sorry, the channel's starting to come through. It's like you need a safe space. Spirit's saying have something in your life to designate as a safe space, something to return to whenever you are feeling the need to get grounded, because it's almost like I definitely know that you're not feeling like that right now. It's not something that you're feeling right now. It's just necessary to get into that space. So and I will say that the prayer at the beginning that I always say, I developed it with intention. It's something that's stuck for a reason. So making sure that you are, like, yes, this is a collective reading, but when it's in a collective reading, making sure that, I want to be careful how I say this because I don't want to sound like accusatory or anything, but a lot of times and I do this too, but we float through different readings on YouTube, and it's okay to have multiple readers. I myself go to multiple readers, but oftentimes when we feel like we're in a space of feeling lost or stuck, or when we feel suspended in air and we don't feel very grounded, things are kind of chaotic, or whatever the case may be, we almost reach out for answers outside of ourselves, when sometimes we just need time to sit in our physical space and time to just be in the physical without reaching out for all of these spiritual things. So I mean, and if that's what you feel called to do, if that is the only piece of information you needed from me, then definitely feel free to check out this video now. I will not be offended in any way if you leave, because sometimes there are only certain pieces of a reading that we need in order to connect with ourselves, Taurus. But anyway, for those of you who feel like there's more, those of you who want to stick around, let's get into your tarot. So okay, wait a minute, because I realized I didn't finish. So no, it's a loops in. There's a reason why I moved down. So you have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles here. So Spirit's asking you to be brave with yourself. Be brave with the information coming to you. Like, you need to, like, stay grounded to receive more, and it's almost like you're not really allowing the time for that to happen, because you keep wanting to either move quickly, or you're feeling the pressures of the outside world, and it's actually necessary to slow down for yourself, to get that designated safe space, do your grounding techniques, whatever those be, even if it is kneading your feet or pushing your toes into the earth, even if it's just to do that for a few minutes. It's not like you're not really turning your awareness to something outside of yourself. You're not really like trying to reach out for any type of information or like insights or whatever. You're not really doing it with any expectation. The goal is to just feel and be present in your body and in your feet. So make sure you don't have the goal of, oh, insights are coming to me, like, because then it places the whole expectation on it, and then you're not actually getting what you're supposed to get out of grounding. So I just think it's an important exercise to do regardless, but like just as a daily practice. But the grounding will help center you, especially when you're going from reading to reading and you're trying to get information. But what I'm saying is it's important to come back to you, and sometimes, like, there is a need sometimes to shut out the rest of the world so that we can get reassociated with our own physical being and understand, like, just completely cancel out the other parts of our life, the other people that are surrounding us, because oftentimes their thoughts and their energies are influencing ours just by being around us. And sometimes we just need to spend time, not to completely alienate yourself, but just be alone in the present, not really thinking about how everyone else is acting and how their values are imposing on your own, or in any way, whatever these thought forms are. Just completely forgetting about everybody else's existence for a minute, so you can focus on you, solely you, okay? The Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles are two of the slowest knights in the tarot. The Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords are incredibly fast. They're very about impulsive action. These guys are taking it slow because they have to. The Spirit's quite literally saying, find time to meditate, because it's in those times that we slow down that it's almost like if you're trying to seek a direction to go, if you're trying to, I don't know, I just keep hearing safe haven. You will find your safe haven if you feel like you don't have it, okay? And even so, I just felt the need to adjust my candle, because I just noticed that it was kind of like on its side, and it's in kind of this strange little holder. I don't know. I got it at a thrift store. It's super cute. I like it, but elegante. But anyway, I guess the point that I'm trying to say is, like, I'm really feeling that some of you might feel that. Like, you're noticing something is tipping over that could set everything alight. It's almost like a tipped candle that you're like, oh my gosh, like, I don't want that to set me on fire. And it's almost like that is creating pressure on you. But quite literally, just sit with it. Sit with it being lopsided for a minute, because sometimes you don't really have the resources to upright that candle right now, and that's okay. But I also feel like some of you are calling attention to the fact that something is amiss in your life, and it's almost like you're getting overwhelmed with the fact that, oh my gosh, I have to fix it, or oh my gosh, I have to be somewhere else, or I have to do something else. And everything can happen in its own time and divine timing at the same time. I'm quite literally hearing divine timing, like I'm seeing the word in my mind, divine timing. So trust in the process. It's happening for you, okay? Knight of Pentacles is about planting your seeds and trusting that they're going to grow. The Knight of Cups is putting yourself out there in your vulnerabilities, in taking things slow. Not only because you're trying to find what you're looking for to emotionally fulfill you, but I just feel like fulfilling you in all terms too. Spirit's coming through with the soul too, like what's lighting up your soul. I don't know if some of you are struggling with like a life purpose, or if you're struggling just with emotions in general, but there's something about like your path is almost like I just get this wandering soul who maybe once upon a time had a direction and they're just a little bit lost or like in a confused state. But just take it slow, take it easy, and take it steady. Because the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles, they're growing long-term things. Because while the Knight of Pentacles has faith and trust that the seeds that he plants, like some of the seeds will grow, at least one of them will, because he's scattering so many, right? But he's taking his time and doing it slowly, making sure that every seed gets the proper care that it needs. Same thing with the Knight of Cups. He's making sure that he's not putting completely his neck out on the line. He's putting up appropriate boundaries, and because he's managing his energy at the same time as assessing other people's energy, he is actively taking the time. If you're looking for a lover, or if you're trying to grow a business, like it's something that you will do well in being slow with. So I wouldn't say be overly cautious, but if you're feeling called to be cautious just because you're feeling overworked or overwhelmed or just blah, chaos everywhere, just take it slow. It's okay to bide your time. It will happen for you eventually. You can manifest whatever these things are eventually, the things that you want. You can manifest them. Just take your time with it, because a big part of it, the reason why a lot of us don't want to take our time, is because there's a part of us that doesn't trust. We want it now. We want to see it come to fruition now. Why do we want to see it come to fruition now? I mean, yes, because things in the now might not be satisfactory to us, but also there's a part of us that believes that if we don't try to rush and get it now, that we will never get the ball rolling and it won't come to us. And Spirit's saying that kind of mentality is a little dramatic, but that is oftentimes the way that we think. Every situation is different, so only some of this might apply to you. But let's just see what the rest of the tarot has to say. So we have the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands here says that, like, taking the lead. So this week I feel like there are opportunities to make a choice and take a lead in whatever fashion you choose. So while, yes, I heard, like, okay, so I'm just imagining, like, dust clouds getting kicked up, but Spirit is saying the dust will clear. And that would be the time for you to move forward. Now, you don't see the Six of Wands just bolting it forward. You don't see him being completely stationary either. He's regathering and talking to his troops. So while you are like the definition of the Six of Wands right now, like you are that person in power, you are the person that is directing your army, the spiritual energies around you, your thoughts, your feelings, they all have energy. It's almost like while you care for that and while you address those things, you are also manifesting the intention and the energy to move forward. So that's why this grounding is important, because every leader knows, like, do you think leaders got there by constantly pushing and never taking care of themselves? Absolutely not. They have to have their own boundaries. I just keep hearing, like, score big, score big. So, like, they want to score big, yes, and they have the ambition to do so. So not only is it their belief, but they also take their time getting to their goals because of trust. So Spirit is saying, kind of take a minute to learn that impulse control. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, I have to do this now, or like, oh, like even if it's something exciting, like really draw it out and savor it. Trust that it's not going away, but really take the time to savor it so that you can create more longer lasting memories with it. Okay? Because it's not going to slip from your grasp. If it was meant for you, then it will stick around. Okay? So don't be afraid. Excuse me. I don't know why I'm getting this sense of like letting go, like needing to let go or release, like the need to like keep things for as long as you can. Because it's almost like there's a necessary like letting go that needs to happen in order for you to truly savor what's in the moment. Because if you're grasping on it too hard, then you're worried too much. Like you have some awareness placed in the future of, oh my gosh, like if I don't hang on to this tight, like, you know, I know this is going to last forever, so I'm going to cling to it tighter. And it's almost like sinking your teeth, like your claws into it. But that adds tension to the muscles. Even metaphorically, when you are hyper-focused on trying to keep something, you're noticing that the tension comes in. And that tension really stops you from savoring the sweetness of the moment. When you're truly living and when you're truly like, I don't want to say truly living, but when you're truly like keeping your heart space and energy light and open, then you get to receive the full impact of that joy that the experiences are giving you. I don't know if that makes sense, but we'll keep moving forward. The Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords here, you need to drop some of your load. Quite interestingly, the Seven of Swords, that's not what, dropping your load, that's not what the Seven of Swords means. I'm going to get to the traditional tarot in a minute if I feel called, but I feel actually intuitively. The thing is, the Seven of Swords, this guy is trying to gather up everything he owns, and he's running away from camp. This can be interpreted in many ways, but how Spirit is showing this card to me is that he's gathering up his swords and he's running away in the other direction. Now, okay, but he's looking back, and it's almost kind of slowing him down because he's like, I can't pick up those 2 swords. Just let him go. Like, you already have 5 swords you're holding on to. Just let them be. Move back. I mean, it might feel like it's a step back if you're not taking care of everything you need to take care of now, but it's okay to prioritize. It's okay to say, look, you know what? It's going to be absolute hell for me to, like, take all 7 swords. I can do it, but the thing is, Spirit's saying this is a little bit of a tricky energy. 7 of Swords is a very tricky card. And the reason I'm saying that is because, like, it's almost like you want to turn around and take those other 2 swords, but you're made for more than the 7 swords that you're carrying. And it's almost like they're showing me, like, you'll be able to carry a lot more if you establish a stable system to carry everything with. So you're worried about these 7 swords, but in the grand scheme of things, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're actually going to be able to carry 20 swords with something that you've, like a contraption that you've built. Now, this is all metaphorically speaking. So what I mean by that is that make sure that the practices that you're doing now are sustainable long term so that you can quite literally hold all of the swords that you want to hold. Now, I just heard, like, I don't know, I just heard, like, you're doing a lot of math, so maybe there's some type of financial thing you're trying to work through, or maybe you're trying to figure out how all of these different things are going to intersect and play into your life, or how you're going to achieve all the things that you want, how you're going to gain all of these, or I don't know, call in all of these manifestations. Sorry, I said gain and earn. That's not really what I meant. It's almost like calling in that energy, like you want to call it in, but there's so much to call in, and it's almost like I feel like, I don't know if you're, like, rushing or if you're just, I just heard, like, I'm hearing the word paranoid, like maybe you're, like, there's just something here about paranoia, and Spirit's just asking you to let go and trust that you'll get it, but, you know, try not to be on your own timeline with it and just keep just doing the work in front of you day after day until eventually you get there, but take rests when necessary, okay? At the root of your tarot reading, so this is meant to complement the grounded card, we have the 8 of Swords here. And the 8 of Swords is all about, this is the trick. This is the trick of the mind. 8 of Swords is a trick of the mind type of card. Because the reason why we don't feel so grounded is because we feel like we don't have control. And I think it's because you can control certain things in this situation or this week. You can control certain things, but it's almost like you've tricked your mind into thinking about, you're getting into the headspace of all the things that you can't control. So, like, for example, you wanted to go out and have a picnic with your friend, but all of a sudden it's a rainy day. It's, like, forecasted for rain. It just came out of the blue. It wasn't even on, like, let's say it wasn't on the Weather Channel. And all your plans are just, they went to shit. And you're like, oh, crap, okay. And it's almost like you're focused so much on, you know, oh, no, I'm trapped inside. But then you look around and you're like, but there's so much I can do inside. I can move the picnic inside. We can have, like, a movie marathon or something. But it's almost like those are the kinds of blessings that you can have, but it's almost like you're so focused on what you can't control, the weather. Does that make sense? So you can focus on areas of abundance in your life within the realms of the things that you do have and work to build upon those so that you can create more opportunities it's like a gate, like doing that's kind of a gateway to more abundance is what Spirit is saying, rather than focusing your energy on, like, I'm stuck in this situation. I can't get out. I need to do this thing. I need to manifest this thing to get out. That's not the type of framework that Spirit wants you to work from, because that's not really going to call in your manifestations incorrectly. And I don't know if there's, like, a correct way to do it, because everyone's different, but there is an energy here of, like, basing it. It's basing it on, I have to escape this, but it's not recognizing the joy and, like, what it provides you in the moment. So, okay, for example, if you're not making as much money as you want to make, it's almost like so let's say you're just barely making enough. You're making enough to get by, and that's it. Focusing on the fact that you are able to pay your bills, rather than, oh my gosh, I can't afford, this cotton candy from this stand at this festival or something like that. So trusting that, Spirit will guide you in whatever direction that's meant for your life, and then just keep flowing with the wind. Keep flowing with the wind, because Oh, I can't take all these cards. You know what? Are we feeling ambitious? I might. Okay. We're feeling a little ambitious, so we're going to race through these cards here because we're really, I'm pushing it with your reading. We're getting a little bit over time. A change in the wind, so this is kind of what I was saying about, like, you know, going with whatever direction it takes you, because there are many things that are out of this zebra and this person who's riding, like, just hopping on a joyride on the zebra's back. There's many things out of their control. And when the wind changes, sometimes it's just better not to fight against it and to just roll with the current there. You also have round and round. This is probably a lesson that you've come across many times before. This 8 of Swords energy is the thing that keeps repeating. This feeling like you're focusing on the things that you can't control, rather than just trying to enjoy what's here. Yes, there are some things that are not satisfactory, but quite literally putting your attention and your awareness on those things, let it flow through you. If you encounter a moment or a thought, let it flow through you, and then it's not like you're dodging the things that, because it's something that you care about. It's not like you're dodging those things. It's like you do need to take time to sit with the things that you want and to sit with your values. But in terms of dealing with it day to day, we do put a lot of focus and awareness on those thoughts. And when those thoughts do come up, it's almost like you have to train yourself. It will take a lot of work, I'm sorry to say, especially when round and round does come up. It will take a lot of work to just let it breeze through you. All right, because I think that's incredibly important, is to learn how to manage the thoughts in our mind. This isn't trying to cure, I'm not trying to, like, you know, make you like a super, super positive person, because this is beyond, like, positive and, you know, being in a space of gratitude. They're two different things, okay? Because you can take positivity to an extreme. But it's almost like, you know, I can hope for something better, but at the same time, I'm going to look at this and say, okay, I'm going to not pay attention to this, or like, I know that I don't like this, and I acknowledge that, but then let it go. Don't ruminate on it any longer. Just take the steps to move forward and find other bits of joy. Spirit's saying find laughter and embrace laughter more, because that's going to help ease the burden of the situation a little bit and just ease the week in general. Community, lean on your sense of community this week, your support system, your angels, your spirit team. They all want to be there to support you. When we connect with our support system in real life, that actually makes our support team in spirit stronger, and like everything in the physical does reflect on the spiritual sense, because when we feel that sense of community and that oneness with other people, then that helps. It's like a similar feeling when you're connecting with spiritual, because it's like the merging or the connection of two souls. So it'll help you express gratitude if you also get into the space of others. So, of course, as always, when you're grounding, make sure you're with yourself, but spending time to reach out to your support system after you've done a little bit of grounding. And I guess I would argue to say, because I know I said earlier in the reading that it's actually important to be by yourself for a little bit. Connecting, and this is what I said about not alienating, and this card kind of explains why you're not alienating. It's because sometimes, believe it or not, the act of grounding can quite literally be going out with friends or family, or just, it's almost like I just heard treat yourself. So go out and, like, you know, I mean, if you have the means, spend a little bit on yourself. If you're not one to normally do that, go out and, like, you know, just do whatever fills up your soul and treat yourself a little bit. Especially in the company of other people, because that in itself could be the replenishment and the grounding that you need in order to reorient yourself and be like, okay, this, you know, my life can happen for me and I'm okay with now. You also have Treasure Island, so there are treasures to be found. You don't have to, Spirit's like, you don't want to escape this. You don't want to escape your path. So if you're thinking about other measures of like, oh, let me, you know, take this other different path, or let me, you know, just completely derail my path and do something else. You don't want to ditch this path unless you're intuitively feeling called to, in which case, why are you here? I don't think this is your reading. But whatever the case may be, there's something within you that is calling you in a certain direction, and Spirit is saying, you know, go with the flow of this. Whatever you're doing now, go with the flow of your intuition into where it's guiding you. Try not to, like, derail yourself too much from what your intuition's trying to say, because you're going in the direction of blessing. So just let it happen. Enjoy the laughter and let it just be, you know. We'll pull 2 more oracle cards and then we'll roll some dice for you, and then we will close this reading because this is getting real long. Taurus. Okay. Ooh, what did I just say? So release, lighten your load. literally letting go. We literally talked about this with the Seven of Swords. That's funny. So again, I don't know. I feel like I don't have to have anything else to say. Just like make sure that you're quite literally just making time for you to breathe, okay? And success. Bloom wherever you are planted. And we talked about that with the Knight of Pentacles as well. So quite literally, wherever you're planted, like you have the space to grow right now. You have the space to grow where you're at. That doesn't mean you have to settle there, but you can still, you can, they're funny. So you can grow. You can plant your seed here and grow into, like, let's say you grow and you spend enough time here to be a juvenile plant. Spirit is saying, hop to another pot. Like, it's no big deal. They quite literally gave me, I heard hop to another pot, and then I saw a plant get up out of the pot on, like, using its roots as legs, and then just bop, bop, bop over to another pot. And just shimmy on over to the next pot. Oh my gosh, that was so funny. So don't be afraid of growing where you're at and making connections where you're at just because you know you're not going to be there forever. You're like, oh my gosh, this isn't where I want to be though. It's okay to develop like that type of like I don't know, it's just creation and oneness. Don't be afraid to indulge in all of that now. Everybody's path is different, and even if you're like, this is not where I'm meant to be, or this is not where I want to grow, that's okay, because you can just hop to another pot. You won't lose the growth. You won't lose your progress, because we're all just moving forward in life. We're all learning things. Our soul is maturing every second of the day. So just keep going, and don't be afraid to live where you're planted, even if it's for a short time. You have 540 for your angel numbers, so I'm pulling from Kyle Gray, as always. Angels have heard your prayers for change. Know that divine order is stepping in to support you as you move ahead. One more time, angels have heard your prayers for change. Know that divine order is stepping in to support you as you move ahead. That being said, Taurus, thank you so much. That was your reading. If this resonated with you in any way, shape, or form, if you like my style, if you like my vibe, if you think I'm cool, go ahead, like and subscribe and all the things. That way you can keep up to date with the content I post. And yeah, and it helps the channel grow. So I love you, Taurus, and I'll see you next week. Bye.